Derby County are facing a ton of injury doubts heading into the start of the 2025-26 EFL Championship campaign, but ultimately we're nowhere near closer to knowing what the starting squad is going to look like. At the moment, I think Derby County have around 9 players who are out injured or a doubt for their upcoming fixture, which ultimately isn't a great look for Derby County. Now, at the moment, Derby County have been filling out their pre-season games with a ton of youth prospects, with the likes of Isaac Gordon, Freddie Turley really making a name for themselves so far. But could any of those players really step in? Now, across the course of this video, we're going to be discussing all the latest injury news that we've got from John Eustace across the course of yesterday's media day, and we're going to look at the likes of Lars-Jørgen Salverson, Kane Wilson, the likes of Carlton Morris, Sondre Langas, and so on and so forth. Now, obviously, you can let me know your thoughts down in the comments about the players that are out injured and players who could potentially come in to replace them. But make sure you let me know your thoughts in the comments. Hit the like button, hit the follow button. If you're on YouTube, hit like and subscribe. But let's get into it. Do you want to win yourself the brand new Derby County 2025-26 home shirt? Well, I'm here to give you an opportunity to do that. There will be a link down in the description where you can head on over to raffle.com to join a raffle where you can win the Derby County home shirt. Ticket prices start at just £1 with a range of different discounts available. You can buy 2 tickets, get 2 free, 5 tickets, get 5 free, 10 tickets, get 10 free, and 15 tickets to get 15 free. The intention with this is to give you guys the opportunity to win a Derby County shirt for less than the valued cost in the shop. So if you haven't done so already, head on down to the description, click on the link in the description, which will take you over to raffle.com, create yourself an account, answer the question, and join this raffle. The winner will be announced on August 1st at 6 p.m. as the transfer window begins to draw to a close. So if you haven't done so already, head on over there and get your tickets. Now, obviously, at the moment, Derby County have a fair whack of players out. You look at Lars-Jørgen Salverson, Kane Wilson's out, Carlton Morris, despite training, is still out injured. Andreas Weimann, another one. Curtis Nelson, Sondre Langas, Dejan Brown, Ryan Nyambi, Joe Ward, and obviously new signing Patrick Agyemang. Now, if we look at them on a one-by-one basis, Lars-Jørgen Salverson underwent surgery was it around March, April time, which obviously kept him out for the rest of the season. And the hope was that he would be back ready and available for the start of this upcoming campaign. However, that is looking less and less likely. He's had to have another surgery on his knee to clear it out, which is going to see him out for at least another 6 weeks, which takes him, to the start of September. Now, that obviously means he's going to miss the first few games of the season, but should hopefully be back after the first international break. Now, obviously, if we continue on the striker front, you've also got Patrick Agyemang, who's undergone surgery on a hernia, which most of the time is a 6 to 8 week injury, although we've not had any real confirmation on the timetable for his return. But obviously, just like Lars-Jørgen Salverson, that keeps him out until at minimum the end of the first international break. Now, if we continue in the forefront of the strikers, you can look at Carlton Morris, who has been training with the group and obviously went out to Austria, but ultimately has not been involved in any of the pre-season friendlies. Now, it was noted by John Eustace in his media with BBC Radio Derby yesterday that he could be involved this weekend against Burton Albion, but obviously no official confirmation has been confirmed yet, and we'll have to wait until later on when the team sheet does drop. Now, continuing in the form of forwards, Dejan Brown. Now, Dejan Brown has been out with a hamstring injury, which I think he sustained, was it at the back end, start of February, in the same game that Kane Wilson picked up his initial injury. And there's been no timetable for Dejan Brown's return. Now, it has been noted that he has been training with the group. However, he did not go out to Austria. So it's one of those where maybe it's an ongoing issue which needs a little bit more work. Now, in regards to that of Dejan Brown, it has been discussed and reported that he was potentially at the game, the Bristol Rovers game, a couple of nights ago against Coventry City, which I don't know how true that is. I don't know how factual it is. It came from a Bristol Rovers content creator on Twitter. And obviously, for me, I'm not entirely sure I agree with the fact that he was there, because obviously he was back at Derby for Media Day the next day, and obviously Bristol to Derby is what, a 3-hour trip. So if you're going to do it a round trip, you're looking at what, 5-6 hours depending on traffic. So I don't know, it's a little bit far-fetched, but we'll have to wait and see sort of how that moves on. I wouldn't be opposed to him getting a loan move to League Two, but we'll have to wait and see what happens with that one. And also sticking with the forward front, Andreas Weimann. Now, obviously, Weimann had surgery on a torn meniscus last season, has been back in training and could be involved this weekend, although, just like Carlton Morris, no official confirmation, and I assume they're not going to rush it. Rather than be fit for the first game of the season than be rushed back in pre-season and not be able to play at the start. Now, we then go on to more defensive numbers in the likes of Joe Ward, Ryan Nyambe, Kane Wilson and Sondre Langas, as well as Curtis Nelson. Now, obviously Curtis Nelson did his ACL around January, if I remember rightly. And he has been back in training. He did go out to Austria with the group and has been seen at, I believe, all of the pre-season friendlies. However, obviously has not been involved. Now, he's probably still at least 4 to 8 weeks away. I personally wasn't, I'm surprised he's back training, if I'm completely honest. But I don't think we're going to see him until at least after the first international break, if not a little bit further down the line with that of Curtis Nelson. Obviously, at the moment, 3 solid centre-backs available, but obviously still a little bit of a ways to go for that of Curtis Nelson. In regards of Kane Wilson, I think I mentioned it earlier, in a similar boat to that of Lars-Jørgen Salverson. Wilson had surgery at the end of last season and had to have another surgery across the course of this week, which will see him out for another 6 weeks, which means that he's not going to be available for the start of the EFL Championship campaign. We then look at Sondre Langas, obviously another player who had surgery at the back end of last season. He's still got another 4 to 8 weeks out as well. It is expected that it'll probably be more towards the back end of that, with 2 months. And to be fair, as I've said for a few of the players already in this video, I'd rather these players be back and fit and able to play 30-35 games this season than be rushed back in at the start of the season and then miss 20-30 games instead. So I'm not opposed to that. Now, Ryan Nyambe, another one who's set to miss the start of the season, but we haven't been given a proper timetable for when he will be returning. He has been seen in gym work, as has Joe Ward. But as I say, no timetable has been noted for that of Ryan Nyambe. Now on to Joe Ward, then the final one within this video. He is expected to be out for, who knows, he spent pretty much the majority of last season out, probably played 4 or 5 games. Don't think he played many more than that, if I'm completely honest. And there's been no timetable for his return. Now obviously he was sort of on the basis of a potential way out back in January, but no deal was finalised as a result of Derby County picking up injuries, and then I believe he picked up his own injury, but no timetable for Joe Ward to return. Now obviously, as a result of these injuries, Derby County are obviously looking not just towards bringing in new players, but also bringing up that young talent. Now for me, there's a massive opportunity that the likes of Isaac Gordon and Freddie Turley are involved on the opening day. And as it stands right now, our starting striker is probably going to be Charles Abuka. But obviously the game versus Burton Albion may see Carlton Morris play, it may see Andreas Weimann play, which ultimately changes up the situation in regards of that forward area. Now, is it a good thing that youngsters could be getting opportunities to start the season? Absolutely. But also Derby County do need to sort of have a good chunk of senior talent available. And I do think they do have that in that regard. They just need a few more midfielders, a few more wingers. Obviously a little bit light in the fullback areas. But who knows how that's going to shake up as the season progresses. Now obviously you can let me know your thoughts down in the comments. If you have not done so already, make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button and turn on that notification bell, and I'll catch you in my next video later on. Do you want to win yourself the brand new Derby County 2025-26 home shirt? Well, I'm here to give you an opportunity to do that. There will be a link down in the description where you can head on over to raffle.com to join a raffle where you can win the Derby County County home shirt. Ticket prices start at just £1 with a range of different discounts available. You can buy 2 tickets, get 2 free, 5 tickets, get 5 free, 10 tickets, get 10 free, and 15 tickets to get 15 free. The intention with this is to give you guys the opportunity to win a Derby County shirt for less than the valued cost in the shop. So if you haven't done so already, head on down to the description, click on the link in the description, which will take you over to raffle.com, create yourself an account, answer the question, and join this raffle. The winner will be announced on August 1st at 6 p.m. as the transfer window begins to draw to a close. So if you haven't done so already, head on over there and get your tickets.